Hello and welcome to my Game Week 25 score predictions of the 2022/23 Championship season. I've got to get this video out here because they are kicking off tomorrow evening and we're starting off with Queen's Park Rangers against Luton Town. Queen's Park Rangers picked up a 0-0 draw against Cardiff City in their last game. Luton Town picked up a very good victory over Norwich City at Kenilworth Road at that 2-1 victory against Norwich, which did lead to the sacking of Dean Smith. We'll come on to Norwich in just a moment's time, but in this game, I'm going to back Queen's Park Rangers to pick up all 3 points. Luton did come out 3-1 winners when these two played each other in the first half of the season, but I am going to just back QPR for a home victory. It'll be Neil Critchley's first home game in charge. And yeah, I think it'll end in a win for him. We'll move on now to Blackburn Rovers against Middlesbrough. Blackburn Rovers still yet to pick up a draw so far this season. It has just been a complete mix of wins and losses, and you just don't know what you're going to get from them on the day. They are the home side in this one, so I am going to back them to win this one. I am going to go for a 2-1 home victory for Blackburn Rovers in this one. Middlesbrough did lose last night against Burnley in that 3-0 defeat. So yeah, I think Blackburn will be able to win this one 2-1. We'll move over now to Coventry City against Cardiff City. Cardiff, as I mentioned, picked up that 0-0 draw against QPR. Coventry City defeating their last game, losing 3-1 to Sheffield United. When these two sides faced each other in the first half of the season, it ended in a 1-0 victory to Coventry City. Something tells me, though, even though they've not had the best of form lately, I think Cardiff are going to come away with all 3 points in this one in a snatch and grab away game here. But I think they'll be able to do it. Maybe a shock result, but I'm going to say 1-0 to Cardiff City in this one. Next up is Huddersfield Town against Rotherham United. Huddersfield, in their last game, they did manage to beat Preston North End 2-1. And Rotherham United did pick up a draw in their last game. It was a 2-2 draw against Stoke City. Yeah, I think Huddersfield will be able to build on that victory from last week. I'm going to go for another 2-1 scoreline to Huddersfield in this one. I am going to back both sides to score, but I think Huddersfield will be able to pick up all 3 points in this one. And then we'll move on to the Den now, where it is Millwall against Bristol City. Millwall, good victory last time out, 2-0 winners over Watford, which now sees them in the top 6. Bristol City, currently in 18th place, a 2-0 defeat to West Bromwich Albion in their last game, and I think they are going to. I think they'll pick up something from this game. I'm going to go for a nice high-scoring score draw, 2-2. Both sides to pick up a point in this one. I think it'll be a good one. Next up is Wigan Athletic against Sunderland. Of course, these two sides were in League One last season, and they have already faced each other in the Championship earlier on this season, where it ended in a 2-1 victory to Sunderland. I'm going to go for another Sunderland victory in this one. I'm going to back both sides to score. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Sunderland win, which could see them enter the top 6 if other results go their way. It's very tight between 5th place and 10th place. There's only the 1 point in it. But here we go. West Bromwich Albion against Preston North End. As the next game, West Brom have won 6 out of their last 8 under the charge of their new manager, Carlos Corberán. And they're against Preston North End, who have lost 2 in their last 2. So we need to make sure that we don't make it 3 in a row in defeats. But I just can't see us picking anything up from this game. I know we've got one of the best away records in the league, but against the West Bromwich Albion side that's high on confidence, it's a home game for them. I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 victory to the Baggies in this one. And then we'll move on to Blackpool against Sheffield United. Of course, the big 3-3 draw. That was the scoreline last time these two sides faced earlier on in the season. But I think Sheffield United will be able to pick up all 3 points in this game. Blackpool really struggling. They're currently in that relegation zone in 22nd spot. Sheffield United currently in 2nd place. And I am going to go for just a narrow 1-0 victory for the Blades actually in this one. I'm not going to go for a high scorer, but I think they'll get the job done and pick up all 3 points. Next up, Birmingham against Hull City. Is going to be a tight one. Hull City currently just outside the relegation zone in 21st. They need to start picking up some points to, you know, put some distance between them and that relegation zone. And you know what? I think they're going to be able to do it. Maybe another shock result, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 away victory for Hull City in this one. Next up is Norwich City against Reading, of course. Norwich City did sack Dean Smith after the 2-1 defeat against Luton Town. They are coming up against the Reading side who did beat Swansea City 2-1 last night. Talks of Steve Bruce being the next Norwich manager. I mean, if I was a Norwich fan, I would not be happy with that news, but we'll wait and see where that goes. I am going to go for a Norwich victory in this one. I'm going to go 2-0. That's one. I'm going to go 2-0 to Norwich City in this one and maybe turn their form around. Finally, we've got the last 2 games. Stoke City against Burnley. Stoke picked up a 2-2 draw with Rotherham United. Burnley picked up a 3-0 victory over Middlesbrough. It was a 1-1 draw when these 2 sides faced at Turf Moor, but I just think Burnley are the team with the confidence at the moment. Stoke City, they've picked up some pretty decent results, but again, they're very mixed and you don't know really how they're going to play on the day. I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 away victory to Burnley in this one, and then we finish off with Swansea City against Watford. Of course, Swansea not won in absolutely ages. Watford did lose 2-0 to Millwall in their last game, so they will want to, you know, bounce back from that defeat. It was a 2-1 victory to Swansea City last time these 2 sides faced, but I do think Watford now, against a pretty struggling Swansea side at the moment, I do think Watford will be able to pick up something from this game. But I'll say only a point, and I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, which wraps up my score predictions for Game Week 25. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you all in my next video.